Okay, so we should be live now. Let's see if it's loading correctly. So just checking. Yes, we're live now. Yes. So hello everyone. Okay. Hi. And today, welcome to the broadcast. We're live now. Yes, so hello everyone. It's a bit of an echo. Yeah, thanks.
One second, I had to turn off my YouTube. I got double sound. Okay.
Woo. Perfect. Okay, nice. Thanks. Cool. So I am Allan here. Hi, CEO at Twin Drums.
And I'm Iga. I'm art director at Twin Drums.
Cool. Yeah. So today is going to be the follow-up of something we organized a few weeks ago. So we had this program called the Black POC Support Program. Basically, we wanted to make the pledges, the game, the Wagadu Chronicles, both MMO and 5th edition D&D, accessible to players who potentially cannot afford it. So we made 50 copies available of like the basic pledge, and we put it out there on the internet. It was awesome. Like many of you sent like really nice applications, and we're super happy to say yes to all of them. 3 of them are winners. We said that we're going to pick 3 because you had to send character descriptions, and 3 of them are going to be today's sketch live, so they're selected. So we got really good ones. It was really hard, but then we managed to decide and go for 3 of them. And yeah, I'm going to leave it to Iga so you can announce the winners. And
yeah.
We can start.
You're sharing the screen?
Yes. So 1 second. Now it should be visible.
Okay. Dum, 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 dum. So
yeah.
Number 1 is Precious with her character Nabila. We will be going. I will talk about those characters a little bit later, but this is our winner number 1. The winner number 2 is Bobby with his character NZ. And winner number 3. By the way, this is not like first, second, and third place. It's just they're all equal. So the third is Ashley with her character Ikwoma. Yay! So
congrats.
Question: If the winners are maybe on the chat or with us, because I don't know, maybe then you can always give some suggestions why we are drawing. I don't know.
Yes, it seems to be there's some comments. By the way, this is a Q&A as well. So if you have any questions on Iga's work on the lore, so I'll be speaking about the lore of the lineages and commenting. So, but it's very open. Oh, look, there's here one of.
So I think it's Precious. Yeah, that's you, Preacher Precious.
Yes. Nice. We have our winner live.
Okay, so I'm not.
Bobby is here.
Okay, Bobby and Ashley are here. Okay, cool. Great to have you. So congrats.
Oh wow, Precious about all of them. Nice.
Oh, that's awesome. So okay, so I will soon, or maybe now or soon, reveal the base sketch. So what I did first is like a very base sketch of all of your characters, but we will be adding more details and like accessories and stuff to them now live. So you can also take part in the creation of those, so even saying like, oh yeah, you could add something like that. We will see if we can manage. So starting with this,
I want to add a laser gun.
Yeah, maybe about laser guns, but anything that would suit our word, yeah, that would be great. So just wanted to talk a little bit about the preparation for the characters, because yeah, I gathered the references before that. So every time I start sketching something and I'm coming up with the character, based on the descriptions I would then search for different items, different characters, poses, inspiration, mood. So I would create like a mood board, reference board, and this is one for the character Nabila. So this is what I gathered. I extracted the main information from the description. So Nabila is Asiman Fire. She is a magician and young woman, black skin, of course, red tribal markings, purple eyes with faint glow. She's tall, with big shock of black coils streaked with ruby. Serious, hardly smiles. If her brow quirks, she's laughing hard, stubborn, proud, impulsive. By the way, the descriptions, they were even more detailed, like there were whole sentences. I just extracted the main information, mostly visual, for me to have always as a reference what to draw. So yeah, coming back. Spell books in her bag, Gafaka. Actually, I didn't know this one. I Googled and I found these callbacks, so that's amazing. Competitive, she always keeps an OR game, rarely loses. So yeah, we have the OR game here as well, and it will appear on the sketch. Curious, kind, believing in sharing knowledge, hates water because she's fire as a man, of course. So before falling to Wagadu, she was rich, seen in her fancy attire. So we can also add something here. And she's mute. She speaks with sign and telepathy. So that's our first character. The second one will be Enzi, the lion blood fighter bard. I think mostly bard, right? But since in the description it was also that he got a spear, so he fights as well. So that's why I have here like fighter / bard. Short, handsome young man with large afro, almost covering his large and bubbly brown eyes, wears a necklace adorned with a lion's canine, the first he had hunted. Walks about with a very furry lion's mane around his waist, with nothing much else but a water skin upon his hip. Has a white, almost powder-like tattoo stretching across his torso and across the nose on his face. Has a spear and plays Kora. So yeah,
Kora. Would say more on the bard side.
Yes, that's what I thought.
Cool.
He's playing it, so yeah, it will be visible that it's bard. Easygoing and smiling. Okay. This is the second, and the third, Iguoma. I hope I pronounce it well. Iguoma, down Emera wizard, fortunate and blessed. That's the meaning of her name. A chocolate brown skin, 2 long violet black braids, dark violet eyes. Wears a black silk dress with coral beads that glow on her ankles, wrist, head, and neck. Black bag over her shoulder. Inside the bag, there is a couple of fetishes, a thick book of her recorded spells, and an open Ifa board, which she also uses to record and cast her spells. So this is very typical to Emere, but Allan, you will talk about it more later, I guess. Originally fell into misty oasis found by Emere and Asiman wizards. They taught her magic and different types of chants and spells. So we have actually 2 characters from Misty Oasis. I mean, actually all of them will be there because they are all together in the scene. She can become resistant to fire, conceal herself with others, and receive flashbacks on things that happen to historical relics. Quiet and observant, full of knowledge, humorous, caring, and helpful. While traveling, she loves to meet and befriend people of other lineages. So that's also what happens in our scene. And on one of her trips, she befriended a quilled antelope spirit. I'm not sure if maybe we will add the spirit over there. We'll see. But yeah, this is the mood board for her. And
it's already exciting, the mood board.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of my favorite parts, actually, just looking for reference, like looking for inspiration, all those different objects, hairstyles, clothing, fashion. This is, yeah, like I love this stage, actually. Before even sketching out anything, it's already a cool task. So yeah, I think we can show what we got as the base, right? So
yes.
Okay, I will actually start now. I'll actually start with the pre-sketch that I shared with Tim before. So this was like a pre-sketch of, you know, all the three characters, which is like basically stickman, only to get the base idea. And
It's already
then
better than anything I could do, but
well, and then we have here, we got the base for all of them. But as you can see, they literally don't have much on them. It's just to sketch out the poses and how they look all together. But now we would actually get into sketching more clothes, accessories, everything around. And probably, I hope so, we will get to the coloring part, because this is my favorite thing to do. So, Alan, I think I can give you the microphone.
Okay, cool. I literally have an actual microphone. Wait, it's like,
yeah.
So I can literally speak. No, I'm really pleased with my microphone that no one sees. But anyways, I'll start actually by answering one of the first questions that came in. Like, really interesting. Thank you, Kwabna. So it's around the lore from the PDF. By the way, we have a 5th edition lore book, setting book called The Child and the Oath. If you haven't downloaded it yet, it's for free. Awesome work too from not just me, but like our writer Kika, our design collaborator Stefano. And the question is from Kwabna, it's the world of Wagadu more geared towards bigger cities or small villages and towns? So it's a really great question, and basically both, and it depends. So one factor is like, you know, people fall in Wagadu from the upper realms, from the upper worlds, and sometimes lots of people fall, sometimes few. So it depends basically on the specific cycle, of Wagadu, and as well like how long the cycle is. So a very long cycle allows people to build more civilizations kind of and cities and to thrive. If people keep on falling throughout the decades, maybe even centuries. Whereas like one cycle where people fall just once at the beginning and then live one life and then go extinguished, and maybe there are not many people, it's harder. So it really depends. So you can have both. In the, for instance, cycle that is going to be the cycle of the MMO in 2 years' time, it's going to start with no cities because it's the beginning of the cycle, right? But then maybe some of the alpha and beta cycles might be a bit different because we're moving things around. So thanks, that was a great question. Who are you starting with, by the way, Iga?
So I'm starting with Nabila, our Asimon. So I would just, I already started sketching a war game. And I actually have a question to you, because I'm not so familiar. Is it that always there's the same amount of the
beads, the seeds. So but for those who don't know, it is like they call it Mancala style type of game. Apparently, it exists from ancient Egypt already. Many African countries, some Asian countries play it. Some Caribbeans play it because they brought it from Africa. And I used to play it as a kid as well because it's very well known in Ghana. It's a relatively simple. I mean, it's deceivingly simple game to play, and actually gets quite complicated. And you do have, so what you have is like how many? 6, I think 6 holes per side. Yeah, and then when you start the game, there's 4. I don't know how to call it. Is it like beads or seeds, or like 4 for each side? And then you kind of you pick them, and while you're playing the game, you're mixing them around. You're kind of like you're sowing, it's like a field, and putting them one by one. And the goal is that you mess up everything, and the goal is to rebuild 4. If you rebuild 4 on your side, you get them. But if you rebuild the 4 on the other side, your opponent gets it. So it's a bit of like only at the beginning it's 4, everything is 4, but then it gets messed up, and there's never 4, because if there's a 4, you pick it, so it doesn't stay on the board. And by the way, we're going to have, thanks to the stretch goal, so thank you so much, Kickstarter backers, we're going to have it as a mini game in the MMO, so that's super exciting.
Yeah, I can't wait to play it. Actually, we should play it beforehand. Like we should have a war game in studio.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's something. It's like I was already checking because it's a shame I don't have one from Ghana, and now because of the whole quarantine restrictions, I'm not sure when I'm going to go next. But I've seen they're like reasonably priced on the internet, so maybe I will get one.
Yeah.
It's totally a good excuse. And so now is the Aziman, right, that you are working on?
Yes, exactly. And I found this very, very cool reference for hair because actually, with Azimans, there are 4 elements. So there's fire, water, air, and earth, and they all have different shape language. And for the fire Azimans, it's mostly the triangles. So actually, when designing a character, I want to include as many triangles as possible. So for the hair, for example, I found because in the description it says, yes, shock of black coils streaked with ruby. So I found the coils like this very, very, suiting, matching to the actual description. And they additionally formed this triangle shape, which is just perfect in this case. And this is actually inspired by Fulani hairstyle. In general, Azimans are inspired by Fulani and Hausa people. So also when I do research, that would be mostly where I look, like Fulani people, Fulani women, Berber as well, like just for the piece of clothing, for the hairstyles, in general.
Yeah, that's a part of Africa that it's called sometimes the Sahel, which is basically the region between the Sahara Desert and the rest of sub-Saharan Africa. It's like a stripe just below the desert. Those are the main inspiration for the Fulani people. By the way, there's a question from Tyler Blue asking. It's a great question, so don't worry. Actually, it's not off topic. It's completely on topic. If there's permanent death, and that's depends on the cycle. So again, cycles. Okay, I'm choking on my tea. I promise it's not vodka, by the way. I'm not hiding. It's actually tea. it's evening here. Yeah, exactly. It'd be funny we're like just chugging vodka during the stream. No, so it's in some cycles, so Wagadu has different cycles, kind of incarnations of Wagadu, because people basically cannot continue the bloodlines. You cannot have children. I mean, you can, but then they become spirits, and then they get lost in the wilderness. So people, Wagadu's, human beings, members of lineages are refreshed by people falling from the upper realms. And each time this cycle restarts, like people get extinguished and the cycle restarts, the rules of the very kind of essence of Wagadu change. And sometimes it can be in some incarnations of Wagadu that there's permadeath. So if you die, that's it. Like the spirits of death are so powerful that when they kind of grasp you, they don't let you go anymore, and you're gone from this world. In some other instances in other cycles of Wagadu, you're actually reborn very easily. So like maybe in some holy place, some temple, you can literally respawn. And other times it's more like you need some powerful magic to come back. So it's possible, but it's a bit complicated. And it's a bit, I think it's cool from a lore point of view. I mean, of course, I think it's cool because I wrote it, but not just because of that, but because it allows flexibility to like DMs as well to decide like if you're playing Dungeons and Dragons, how challenging or how hardcore do you want to make this game? Imagine permadeath in a D&D game can make it much more intense. Or if it's the video game as well, it allows us to say as developers, this cycle, which is for instance the cycle where the game is going to be officially released at the end of the next 2 years, we're going to have the respawn version of death for Wagadu. So yeah, so it depends. And if you're running games in D&D, pick one. If you want to make death maybe it's like cats. Is it 9 times or 7 times? How many is that? It's your choice. Like you can be creative. There's already jewelry happening, right?
Yeah, I'm just adding more triangles in general. So when drawing her shirt, for example, I did the decolled. That's how you call it, decolled. in the triangle shape, for example. And then I want here like a big necklace. So I want to use that, but I also want to also like do it a triangle shape instead of square. So square would be probably more for, I think, Earth Asuman. I mean, they have stripes, right? But
Yeah.
but I think still would be more suitable for Earth or Hieren. Hieren will be actually based on rectangles more.
Biomasses. Yeah.
So here I'm adding just triangles. Basically, everything what I can think of and match the triangle shape will work.
I love it because it's kind of subliminal a bit. It's like there's like when I, as a non-artist, look at it, I just see a beautiful piece of art, but actually you're playing a bit with our brains and like just putting all the triangles there, and it's like, oh, I've seen the triangles, but you don't. It's really cool because like I don't realize, oh, there's triangles everywhere. But when you start seeing it, you cannot unsee it anymore. It's like it's a hidden pattern.
And it's like a super easy rule, right? Because it's not hard to just put the triangles, but it already gives us this shape language that we are aiming for. So that something is characteristic in this character.
So I can see Mike doesn't believe that it's tea and not vodka because I've mentioned other streams. It's true, I've mentioned it because I'm always worried. Like when people see me drinking, they go like, "Oh, what's this person drinking? What is happening on stream?" So, but maybe by saying this, I'm making it worse because then people go like, "Oh, is it actually vodka?" So maybe I should stop saying it. But I think it's funny. People actually think I'm getting drunk on stream. Whatever. It's like I think it's hilarious. So there's another question here from Tyler Blue again. Daima are cursed. Oh yeah, that's definitely. So we don't have Daimas in this image. So Daimas, for those of you who are not familiar with the world of Wagadu, winged. They have moth wings. The people that have moth wings and antennae. And they're like one of the favorites of Wagadu. People love Daimas, and definitely very recognizable because not like kind of no settings have that, like people that are like, I mean, either like really like monsters, like Mothman kind of monsters, but ours like look more like human beings with wings and antennae. They're inspired as well by the cultures of the Horn of Africa, of course, inspired because it's a fantasy world. And yes, they're cursed because at the origins of time, kind of in ancient history, their actions caused the death of this ancient Birapina tree, which is this massive tree that led to this kind of the sky and connected the different worlds. So the upper realms and Wagadu were connected. You could go back and forth. And unfortunately, the Daima let themselves be convinced by the god of rain and water to let the tree fall apart. And I think what is interesting, this question is interesting because lots of the mythologies of Wagadu are inspired by some real African mythologies. I think the window is closed, Iga. So, okay.
Yeah, I think it's loading. I don't know why.
It's loading. Okay.
Because I have it here, but I guess it's just connection.
Yeah, could be the stream. And yeah, so the Daima mythology is definitely influenced by a bit of a monotheistic view because people of the Horn of Africa, like even before the arrival of Christianity or Islam, they had like some interesting sky gods or some that were often like very individual, like one god, which is something quite unique across the continent. And so I took a bit of inspiration. That's why they tend to be like so focused on the moon goddess Adesa. And it's a bit different than most other lineages that they tend to have more polytheistic religious beliefs.
So a technical problem because I don't have internet, which is strange because here I have it and here I don't have it. But I think it should. I hope it loads soon. I don't know.
Okay. So in the meantime, let me see if there's other questions while you're while it's loading. And so here, see from Gustav, which cultures of the Horn region are Daima based on? So definitely the Oromo are a big reference, right? And then to some extent, from a lore point of view, definitely look a bit at even ancient Somali culture, Tigrinya, Amharic. So there's and on your end, Iga, is there specific cultures that you were looking at?
Yes. So for Daimas, I'm especially inspired by the Ethiopia tribes in the Omo Valley.
Omo Valley.
Yes. So Mursi, Karo, all those people that live there, they have like very characteristic outfits or accessories as well, like very, very rough tribal.
I'm sharing some in case people haven't seen it, since you're still loading.
Yeah. Still says I don't have internet, which is super strange because I have it.
It's lying. So these are examples of daimas. These are from the book, directly lifted from The Child and the Oath, which you can download for free. So if you haven't,
yes, you should go for it. Oh, by the way, what you can hear is my dog. Don't worry. I would just try maybe restarting my computer. Maybe that should work, because I don't want to restart the internet because it's
then you're offline, right?
I would disappear completely. So yeah, like if you actually scroll I don't know, up or down to other daimas, or here you can see the influence. But for example, Suri tribe or Karo people with their tribal markings, or earrings, like earplugs, like very, very big ones. I think this is very characteristic to daima in general. Oromo as well in terms of hairstyles, especially I would say. Hama tribe, for example, for the leather clothing as well. Looking into this quickly.
I can see other comments. So from Mike, that Mike is really intrigued by not using black necessarily or darkness as an evil thing, but potentially cool. And I think I definitely have a comment on this. Like when I was researching too, I looked, one element that influenced me a lot was how, for instance, for the Maasai, they used to have in the past these two gods, and one of them is like an evil red god. So red is like the color of like evil, like blood and fire and so on, and black is the color of the good god, like of the god, like of sort of like calmness, coolness, like like the soothing coolness of the night. So I think it's very interesting to see how it was not like the more Western association or Middle East association of like white good, black bad. This case was like black good, red bad. And that's something that I have in the ancestors. So I worked into putting into the ancestors of the game. Black ancestors are the good ones, the calm ones, the helping ones, and red are like the angry, furious ones. And if you think about there's so much to say about black as a positive thing, and even, there's something about skin colors, right? Like the fact that there's been so much in pushing this thing, like dark is bad and white is good, hasn't had with the whole conversation historically. So it's nice to reappropriate a bit this element of like black as a good thing. How is it going, Iga?
Restarting my computer. This is strange. I don't know. It had to happen now, like never else. It's just but shit happens.
Yeah. Yes. It's and look, we have the cool questions coming in. We're going to definitely be able to re-show it at some point.
And I see some people I know, even Ryutsu, Nika. She's here. That's
nice.
Cool.
Awesome.
Hello, Gabriel, hi. Oh, I can actually look at the comments now. That's great.
That's a side effect. At least you get to look at the comments.
Yeah.
So other comment from Mike, what people would you recommend, cultures or people recommend for role-playing ideas? I'd say the book, The Child and the Oath, has a small section where there's cultural references. Cultural references are listed from a bunch of African cultures. Have a look at that, just download the book, and I'd say, hi, Paul. If you want to go even further, go for it, but my tip would be stick geographically to cultures and people that are close to the references. So if you're looking at Horn of Africa and you're like, oh, I really like this Sudanese thing, like maybe think about it more as a Daima cultural influence rather than sticking it to maybe the Lion Blood, who are more influenced by Southern African cultures. This said, we do break that rule sometimes, so we mix up things. So you will find maybe a hairstyle from the South, that's Southern Africa into Northern. It's a fantasy game, right? But for RP inspiration, my tip would be to try and stick with like regions and look at those.
Yes, there's so many of them. It's like always more and more to, you know, research, more and more to learn. It's like, it's impressive.
Yeah, I'm going to scroll up. Let's see if there's on this, on the book, there is a list of influences. Let's see if I find it, because I, so let's see. Oh, there you go. I wasn't far from it. So here, zooming in a bit, this is The Child and the Old that you can download for free. As you can see here, like these are some of the main references. So for Aziman, Fulani and Hausa, or Fulfulde, Daima, Oromo, Amharic, Tigrinya, Emere, Yoruba, Edo, Bini, or Ipo, Ikaki, Kikongo, and so on. So you can see here Ion Masters. By the way, Iga usually calls the Ion Masters as Hieren, and Hieren is like the basically African term to call them. And the Lion Blood have one as well, and it's Ingonyama. And to make life easier for like in general for Anglophone players, because the language is English, we have both names often for most lineages. You can use either an English name or an African name, African origin name, like Wagadu name.
Okay, so update. I restarted computer, but there's still no internet. What the? Like.
Oh no.
Yeah. This is a bummer. I have no idea why.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can try actually restarting my router.
Okay.
Maybe that would, but then it means it will
disconnect.
Disconnect me completely
okay.
For a while. Okay. I hope to be back very soon.
It's like maybe many people came for you, and now it's like, oh no, where is Iga?
But like, we'll speak to you.
Okay, yeah, no, we'll be waiting. No worries.
Yes. I know you can entertain everyone, so yeah.
I'll start dancing.
I don't know. Just be right back. 1 second.
Yes. See you soon. So let me see if in the meantime there's other questions that I've missed. So let's see. I see some comments. So Bobby, red is very associated with anger. So I see red signifying the bad. Yeah. I very much agree too. I think when you think about it, like red definitely feels like an angry, like a bad color. It's like the color of blood, the color of, like, you know, if you get injured and you see blood flow, it's such a strong color, even from a design point of view, when you're creating apps or pages or like so on. Red is usually used to signify danger or like closing something, or if you think even about the traffic lights, right, red color. So actually makes a lot of sense. And black too is such a neutral and soothing color. I mean, there's a reason why we use black a lot in our clothing, right? It's not an evil color because we use it a lot for clothes, and we love black. Like it's a kind of default color. It's very neutral. So I'm very much, when I saw the Maasai picking those colors, I was like, yeah, that makes cultural sense. Like I'm very much on board. So here, comment from Kwabna, my favorite art is the Ion Masters with the golden kente cloth at the start of the Ion Master chapter. So let's scroll there. Let's see if I can gather. So zoom a bit out. Yeah, definitely clothes and clothing are such an important part of the Wagadu Chronicles. Of course, we took this from African cultures. So I'll be scrolling down. This is The Child and the Oath. For those of you who haven't seen it yet, free on our Kickstarter. You can download it, or on our Twitter, if you use Twitter. So these chapters, basically every section is one of the 7 lineages. These are the water people. There you go. These are the Ion Masters called Hieren as well. And this is the kente cloth. And that was created by Iga. So it was like an original Wagadu and a kente cloth. So here, can you tell us a bit more about the growth slangs? The design really stood out for me, so I was curious to know more about them. Oh yeah, that's a really interesting question. Thank you, DJ Jagun. I hope I pronounced it right. So I'm going to do some crazy scrolling now and try to show the Grosslang is one of the monsters that appears in this book. Let's see if I can. I'm going to try and scroll up. Now the question is, will I find it? So as you can see, many creatures we have. Grosslang is the strongest creature in the book. There you go. Here. So the Grosslang, it's an elephant snake. And basically, this is an interesting one because it's based on real Southern African mythology. So if I'm not wrong, Grosslang should be an Afrikaans term. Basically, it's a hybrid between a snake and an elephant. There's a number of real world legends, mostly told in South Africa, about this creature. And so it tends to be dangerous or angry. It's not like a super friendly creature you want to meet. Iga's back in the meantime. Let's see.
I'm here.
Hey!
I have internet on both computers.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Okay. So sorry to interrupt.
No worries. Go for it. Just being asked about the Grosslang, and I was just saying it's based on real mythology. So actually, that's where most inspiration for the description came from. And most creatures of Wagadu are either real mythological creatures or are based on masks. So kind of inspired by some masks, and maybe hasn't got a lot of background story, but then I added more background story, or other members of the team, like Kike, our writer, added more story. So it's real. Grosslangs exist. So yeah, I can try reconnecting the device, Iga, if it's...
yeah, 1 second. Yes.
Sure? Okay, so excited. Yes, yeah, I can see that. So can everybody see this?
Yes.
We're back. Okay, awesome.
Cool. I think it wasn't that long now.
Like a few minutes.
Okay. Let's get into. Oh my God, we are already 37.
Yeah, time flies.
Okay, maybe I can actually do the coloring already, just with stuff. I think that's gonna be a bit more.
Yeah. Like no worries, can do as much as and I had a snack before, so if you want to stay a bit longer, it's fine. I'm not starving.
Yeah, I can stay longer too.
Cool, we can stay a bit longer. And since we lost a bit of minutes with the disconnect. If everybody's on board, we can definitely do a bit longer. Let's see what people think as well.
I mean, they can go away as well, and it will be still recorded, right?
Yeah, it's true. So if for some reason you have to leave,
just sit here till midnight, finishing all the characters. I would just add some details.
Exactly. It's you cannot leave. If you leave, you're never going to see the stream again.
Yeah.
But people are saying longer. So SABZ subs is yay, longer. And Bobby as well, Kwabna. Hey, Giuseppe is online as well. Giuseppe is a team member. He's a technical artist. Yes. Ryutsu is on board. Giuseppe, basically, many, the concepts you can currently see that Iga works on, Giuseppe works on transforming them into glowing, nice, shiny things into the game. So kind of connecting the technical code part into the visible shader and kind of visuals of the 3D game. So if you have any questions for him too on how things are translated into the game, just write in chat because I wouldn't be able to answer. So,
or you can just try adding him here. We will get
exactly. If questions come in, I'll just add you directly, Giuseppe, to the stream. Make sure you're not wearing pajamas because you might be called. Wow, that's quick. I just turned away and color everywhere.
Oh yeah, color, at least base colors is pretty fast, then mostly the most consuming part. Oh wait, did I? Okay, I thought I was painting at the sketch layer, which is when you start doing something on the wrong layer.
The wrong layer.
But no. Okay, I have it here. Well, actually, I will turn it to multiply so I can see it better. Yeah. Okay.
By the way, just a shout out for the Grotslang art I showed before of the elephant snake to Victor, who just donated basically the art, was helping us while we're researching, kind of creating material for the Child and the Oath. A bunch of artists were super awesome. Like, we made this for free. We haven't made any money out of it. And so they kind of jumped in and said like, hey, do you want some help? Which was super great. And that's his work. And check him out, Victor Maristane. He's Brazil-based, really great art.
Yes. By the way, like all of the artists, like the thing they did, like Mahira, how much he did for it, it's super cool.
Awesome.
Like, I love.
Yeah,
I love
Chaim Garcia as well, like really awesome. I had Nadim.
Yes,
like, really great.
Yeah, Magda also helped.
Magda, thank you, Magda.
Yes. So you can see, well, actually all of them are in the lore book. They have descriptions like which artwork is done by who, and you can follow all of them in the internet. They have Twitter, they have Instagram or ArtStation, different accounts. So just go give them some love,
Yes, they very much deserve it. So Giuseppe is now wearing a pajama, so just in case technical art questions come up, get ready. Yeah, so I'm looking at another question from Paul. So you talked about the types of ancestors, but what is the inspiration for the families of spirits? I would love to see more information about spirit families in general, and the information is on page 230. Yes, great question. So definitely one of the reasons why we went to Kickstarter was to be able to expand more. So as I said, like the Child and the Oath was done as a side project, basically for free. But now we got to a point where we're growing as a company and we need to pay our bills as well. So we said like, hey, we need to do this Kickstarter. We've been really lucky and fortunate that Riot Games is supporting us as well. So basically Kickstarter combined with Riot Games financial support, we're going to be able to continue working on the project. But definitely the goal, one of the goals of the Kickstarter is to expand more of the lore and the D&D books. So the 7th era lore book, that is going to be a campaign 5th edition book, will have more on the spirit families. And basically the inspiration for them is like, what I did is like, I looked at deep, small cultures, mostly small cultures around the continent, and then I made each of them some family kind of. So that was the trick. So I looked at like, for instance, the Dama family. Some of the Dama spirits are in the Child and the Oath were strongly inspired by the Dogon people of Mali, West Africa. So, and I did a lot of this for most of the, and that actually allowed as well to create very easy references as well. So easy-ish, but like at least more clear. So all of them have different cultures because they're inspired by, and if you think Africa has like 2,000 languages, tons of cultures. So there's a lot of raw material for the families, inspiration for the families. Of course, it's fantasy too, so it's not one-to-one, but like from inspiration point of view.
Yeah. Red tribal markings.
Nice. This is a triangle. Now I can see it's a triangle, right?
Yeah, I mean, I hope it's like a triangle. Yeah. Let's say.
And the hair is a bit red as well, right?
Yes, because it says it has streaked with ruby. I'm not sure if I understood it well. Or maybe there are ruby beads, or it's like the color is ruby. I don't know. Maybe the author can tell us on the chat. By the way, I don't see the chat. Is nobody is writing anything, or is just for me?
No, it is visible. You can open it. If you click on comments.
Oh, I had a private chat with you. Okay.
There you go. Now people are being super awesome and super active.
Yeah. Nobody is like, we're just talking here and like nobody is there, like, crickets.
The crickets will be funny. By the way, yes, Paul, we hit the stretch goal just a couple of hours ago. So thank you to all the backers. It's so, we went into this with no clue. We're like just saying, let's hope that in the first couple of days we get at least 20K, because then based on projections, we should be able to hit 100,000 on the last day. That was like, we just got together and then we're like, most of us were in this, like in the office here, and we're like crossing our fingers, okay, hopefully a few thousand euro. And then basically in like 48 hours, boom, the thing was so that was
amazing. Like, I think no one really expected this much, like, or this fast,
Yes.
Yeah. So
thank you.
Super cool. Okay, maybe I can move a little bit to the others as well. So it's not like I only take care of one. Yeah.
And he's Ansi is a lion blood, right?
Yes, Ansi is lion blood and has a huge afro. And I want to make it blonde. Is it okay? Blonde or like reddish? I hope that's okay. Maybe Bobby can tell us. But yeah, I found this reference of Melanesian. Sorry, I probably spelled it wrong. But yeah, they have the blonde hair, like afro hair, which is super, super nice and suits very well to lion blood.
So comment from Bobby, I'm super cool with that. So he's
okay, really cool. Great, awesome.
So great that all of the winners are here. Like
yes. I mean, we were worried that you wouldn't get the info, soon enough, like because it was pretty last minute.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's like a confession making on air. Like our Iga was like, "So did you notify the winners?" And I was like,
"I think no."
It's like, yeah, I totally did. Like typing on the computer, because like we as an excuse, I said like these days have been really madness in a good way, right? Because it's been so much to do with the Kickstarter. So yeah, but it's super awesome. It all worked out. So. Yeah.
Also, by the way, this is for me. It's first time painting live streaming. So yeah, it's also not. I'm super comfortable like with painting, and showing it at the same time to people. So just bear with me, please.
If anyone has comments on how this is going, like because I'm super biased, so for me it's just awesome. But
thanks.
I'm looking at the comments, by the way, the questions. So here from the lore. So a question from. So by the way, just a little comment from Subs. Iga, you're so fast. It's impressive. And I added +1 to this one. I very much agree. And so from Mike. So how do you see the characters in Wagadu justify being God Pantheon worshippers versus ancestor worshippers, given both clearly exist in the game? So yeah, it's interesting questions of how religion versus ancestors. So if you like look into the book, The Child and the Oath, there is I definitely address a bit the topic for kind of like mainstream lineage cultures. Like for instance, you will see the Iron Masters here, and people tend to be more strongly worship ancestors, and even their gods are basically like ascended ancestors. And then if you look at the Aziman, for instance, like the character that was being painted before, they're very much more god, like kind of divinity. They have these 12 gods, and they're more focused on these 12 elemental gods. But the thing is, one thing to keep in mind is like these people of Wagadu tend to be very open to worshiping different things. So most people worship they're very open to different religions. It's not like in the West where you had like, Christian versus pagan, and like the early like Roman Christians were like killing the pagans, and the other way around. First the pagans were killing the Christians, then the Christians were killing the pagan, and it's like you're either one or the other. It's more like it's much more a syncretic thing where you're mixing different points. So like you could be like, oh, like today I'm at my family's shrine, tomorrow I'm doing worshiping this god, the next day I'm worshiping ancestors. It's much more fluid, a bit like in ancient Rome, ancient Greek had that as well, ancient Greece, where you had like even fashionable deities that would come and go. Oh, like now we conquered Egypt. Now Egyptian gods are coming in and they're like being imported. Like it's a very different. So Wagadu is much more fluid, and even the different cultures of Wagadu are a hodgepodge of different lineages and gods and so on. So it's much more. There's no clear-cut answers. That's one of the things of Wagadu. It's very tolerant and very open to different creeds. And so it's usually the exception that you have someone being very strict, like, no, I follow only these for this type of faith, because it's the whole concept of one faith is not really strongly Wagadu thing. So Bobby, Iga's painting style is godlike and super jealous.
Oh, thank you.
And Ryutsu is like, you're super fast. I like the way you knew exactly where to play the light on the first character face. Hard.
Thank you. Thanks, Nika. Yeah, it's
Nika.
like super used. Actually, to this, it's like I painted quite some of them already that, like, you know, it becomes very repetitive that, you know, like the light will come here, 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 and here, you know, it's like you just couple of strokes and it's like already the base of light is there. So,
other question from Mike. Is it just the lineage subgroups? Actually, yeah, manifestations they're called as well. Or is it that attention you see people playing with roleplay? So the tension you see. So if I got it right, the question is if picking manifestation on the sublineages conflicts anyhow with role-playing. Is that right? Please comment if you have something else in mind. And my answer would be no. Like, I think that adds to the role-playing, being able to pick different, you know, like focus your lineage a bit more. And if you're Lion Blood, for instance, now say like, are you more lion focused, or are you more like attuned with with cheetahs or with golden cats, which are like these jungle lynxes kind of. So yeah, for me, I think it enriches your character to pick a sublineage, a manifestation. Wow, this is so fast, Iga. So much color already.
I mean, I'm rushing. It's not that I always paint like that. I would usually spend probably three times as much painting, because you know that I'm thinking like, okay, so let me find another reference. And then it's like, okay, then maybe here. Yeah, like now I'm rushing. So it's not because I just want to paint, you know, as much as possible during the stream. So it might not be, well, it certainly is not perfect or, you know, like, of course, there will be many mistakes. But yeah, at least to get the main idea of what's happening here, like the light situation as well. It's just quickly blocking out stuff.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I love how consistent all the kind of color palettes are. That was one thing. And when at the beginning we met, by the way, Iga and I kind of officially met playing D&D together. I mean, we kind of knew each other because we worked in the same company years ago. But then we met playing D&D. She joined a D&D Wagadu game because I was kind of testing a couple of years ago, seeing like, oh, I thought that playing D&D 5th edition Wagadu was a good way to see if people are interested in the setting, what they think about it. And then, you know, like Iga, I knew Iga's partner, so Iga jumped in as well. And and she was like, oh, I can sketch some characters and something. And then from sketching characters of D&D, it became like, oh, hello, I'm the art director.
Yes. By the way, I got the info that our Maasai friends are watching. Keddy, like just Martin told me that Keddy is here. That's a Maasai friend we met in Kenya in February. So if you're here, then hi and greetings, because this is.
Would love so much to go to Kenya as well. I've never been, so it's one of my.
I want to go back so badly. Like really, it's really amazing place. And I hope to. Yeah. I really hope the borders are opening one day.
Yeah, you managed to go just on time. You made it, right? It was just before, right?
Yeah, it was just before. Yeah, we were super lucky. Actually, we were already a little bit stressing out that, you know, because it was when everything was starting. It didn't arrive to Europe yet, and so yeah, but it was already happening. But no, let's not talk about viruses.
Okay, then I'll talk about how you went to Kenyan, if we ever go together, probably I will be spending time like at bars or like checking out the, I don't know, the nice restaurants and everything. But I'm not sure we'll join you to milk the cows and lead herds for like,
You have
as the other, no,
you
like,
have to.
I'm,
It's like essence, no, not essence, but you have to. Like, I mean,
it's culturally sounds super interesting. It's super interesting. I don't know, like the idea of being with mosquitoes into the.
One day in the bush.
Maybe I can try one day. But weren't there mosquitoes in the village? Or?
No, not really. Not that much. There were more mosquitoes in Mombasa. Actually, this was madness. Yeah, but actually, Masai Mara, not so many. I don't know why, because I heard like there would be many, but yeah, it was doable. I mean,
That's good to know. Yeah, and because I'm just used to when I go to Africa, specifically Ghana, there's just like so many mosquitoes and insects. Like the idea of being in a village. To be honest, maybe I should try it, and then because I might end up liking it. But
you definitely should.
Yeah. So here, other question from Kwabna. Do we know yet which platform the game will be on, Windows or Mac? So it's going to be both, for sure, because many of the team members do a Mac. I'm more Windows person. I mean, a Mac plus we're using Unity as an engine. From a technical point of view, is actually very doable to keep compatibility for both. So yes, we'll be releasing on both. Yeah, I can see Paul answered. Thank you. Perfect. I should have read this first. Cool.
So I'm drawing now the canines.
Canines, maybe. Yeah.
Canines. Yeah. Sorry, my English is not at its best.
Mine neither. Don't worry.
Canine. Yeah, because it's in the description, like of the first line he counted. So I guess there will be 4 of them only, because if it's from one lion, like, well, 2 big ones and maybe 2 small ones, I think. Bobby, you can comment on that if you want.
We finally, Bobby went like, no, like there's 7 canines.
How many?
Okay. Oh, so I
actually have. Oh, well, here is a lion. That's why I use references.
Okay,
yeah. I think we should just do 4.
Cool. I'm checking another question I missed. Thanks for the reminder, Giuseppe. So question from Subs. Will there be sound commands in game? If yes, which language would you choose or invent? So I'm trying to understand if it's like sounds in the sense of like musical instruments or more like voiceovers. So definitely musical instruments, yes. Like we have some already a bunch of recordings that Marcus, the composer, and I did in Ghana last year in Accra, and even out of the city with traditional musicians. There's a bunch of nice mix of some of these instruments already are played in the current soundtrack of the game. You can, by the way, on SoundCloud, we have a channel, Twin Drums, that's the main theme is there, for instance. You can listen to it. It's really great.
Yeah, music is amazing. Like you should listen to that. Marcus did such a great job. It's like I don't know. Every time I listen to the team and all the soundtrack, is like, oh, I feel like I'm just in Africa.
Yes, and I love how blend like traditional role-playing tunes with the whole African instrument. Yeah. Such a great mix. Yeah. So that's like
your trip to Ghana because of that.
Yes, he came to Ghana, which is super awesome. Like to get authentic and to hire the musicians and everything, that was really cool. But yeah, if the question is more about voiceovers, then we. I think at the beginning we'll not have much because it's a matter of budgets as well. Like we're a small team. It's already quite a large project, and hiring voice actors also can get expensive, unfortunately. So down the line, I think will be super cool. And if you keep on supporting us, like down the line, buying the game and so on, then the cool thing is that it's a live game, so we can add things afterwards. So we could. I would love to have like voiceovers in various African languages for different magic spells or attacks. That's gonna be so cool. But for now, it's out of scope. But down the line, things might change. So let's see. So here, Kwabna, Iga's art is so good.
Thank you. Okay, I want to add white tattoos stretching across his torso. Across will be this way, right? Not this way.
Oh, the screen went off.
No! Why?
The internet?
I don't know. I'm trying to reconnect.
Okay. So how did you reconnect it before? Was it just a restart or?
Oh wait, no. Okay,
it's back.
Yeah. I don't
Yay.
know. Just the stream, but at least there is internet. No, the internet would be the longest one because it's like, yeah, if I plug out the router, it will take a while. So yeah, okay, coming back. Tattoos, yeah, white tattoos. So yeah, stretching across, which means something like this, and across the nose, yeah, something like this. Bobby, where are you? Just
By the way, are you reconnecting the stream as well of the? The screen, screen is gone. Just pointing out.
So shit, yeah, I forgot to share the screen.
Re-add it. No worries. It's like to create a bit of, so here should be back on screen. Awesome. Can't believe this was like just what is it, like less than an hour, like 45 minutes or something.
Oh yeah, now we are 1 hour. Okay, but I think like half an hour we can at least add. At least, I mean.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so do we have a perfect? Perfect. I see. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Perfect. Lol. Okay. So.
Oh, hi, Heather. Other known faces appearing, or known names appearing.
Oh, I have the idea. Okay, so we can do it more like the tattoos, this like claw, like the claws.
Yeah, like claws on the. That's a really cool idea.
Yeah.
By the way, for new people in general who have joined the stream recently, these characters are the winners of the Black POC support program. So basically, we gave away some free copies of the future release of the game and the MMO and the 5th edition campaign book. And 3 of the best descriptions of characters that were submitted are being turned currently on stream into really awesome art by our art director, Iga. And what you see is like 45 minutes. Yes, Iga?
No, I'm just wondering. It's very dissolved. Okay, I know why.
By the way, Bobby's saying yes. So yeah, Bobby agrees with your descriptions.
Cool.
It looks great.
Okay. Okay, I will come back to them. I will move to our third character, Iguoma.
Yeah.
She's a mere. Yeah, let's color her quickly. She will be the darkest.
Yeah. The character, by the way, Nabila was the first on the left, the Fire Aziman by Precious. Then in the middle, there's Enzi, Lionblood Bard by Bobby. And then now this is Iguoma by Ashley. So thanks again for submitting such awesome descriptions and and winning. Congrats on winning.
Yeah. No, I was really mind blown by the descriptions. They were really, really well, written and like lots of creativity.
Yes.
So,
yes,
like I was excited, like literally excited to sketch them out, because my creativity is very limited, I would say. So I like to use creativity of others to, just visualize things. So yeah.
I love that you define yourself as non-creative. Like one of the top artists out there is like, oh, I'm not very creative.
Yeah. I wouldn't say I'm the most creative person, to be honest. Well,
yeah, I think in some ways kind of inspiring to see that. as an identified as a non-creative person is still like producing so much cool art. So yeah, although I'm still not 100% on board with non-creative.
I think like you don't have to be creative to create good art, you know. I think this is not exactly the thing. I mean, like at least technically good art, because you can draw, you know, or paint what you see, and it's not creative because it's there, but you can paint it so good, you know, like so well that it will be a good painting, but it doesn't mean, you know, it's like a creative thing. At least I think so. I don't know, maybe I'm missing some point of creativity, but yeah.
I think actually I understand in the sense like writing as well. You can technically write very well without being very creative. So maybe you be a very good editor, or like you're really good at, you know, writing. If someone tells you what to write, like you write it very well, maybe you cannot come up with a novel. Like you're not that type of writer, right? Something like that, maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, all artists hate, or at least are very humble about their art.
I think that's a good thing, because if you are artist who is like, oh, I'm the best, and you know, I'm a master of stuff, then probably you're not. because I don't know any good artist who is like, say, I'm just the best in the world. There's always something, you know, that they think they could do better or learn now. Yeah, there will be always something. So if somebody says like, I'm the best at art, and I'm like super good at this and this and this,
Was it which Greek thinker, was it Socrates maybe, that said that the more you know, the more you realize that you don't know, something like this, right? I think it was like some Greek thinker.
I don't know who
some ancient Greek philosopher. Yeah, but it's true, right? Because the more you realize, the more you learn, the more you're like, oh, nah, there's so much stuff I don't know yet, right?
Yes, exactly.
But Yutsu is agreeing as well. There's a difference between original ideas created from scratch and good technical execution.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's an interesting point. By the way, on the Emere, if you're not super familiar with the setting, they live, they're one of the 7 lineages, live mostly in the rainforest, and they tend to be very, as you can see, lean, tall, pointy ears. They're very deeply connected to magic, so their culture has roots in like some ancient magical kingdoms they call magic juju, which is a real word used in West Africa to call magic. And divination is very important for them, so their names often are like very ominous. The board that she has in front of her on the ground is an Oponifa board, which is really used by oracles in West Africa and Nigeria to make divinations. And that's, by the way, mechanics too that we'll have in the video game as well, like divinations of seeing things. We're looking at very interesting ways to get that in the game. So coming from Glade, so humble, but so talented, standing on the shoulders of giants and whatnot. Hearts around the face. I don't know what the name of that emoji is. Hearty face, maybe? No, that doesn't sound good. It's like heart surrounded face. No, I'm not good at describing emojis.
Is it that the one with hearts as an eyes?
No, that's the one that has hearts like kind of around the face. You know, it's like on the cheeks and head. Like there's hearts all over.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like crowned by heart. No, I don't know. That crown would be here. You see, like I'm not an artist. I don't even know how to describe you more. It's like round yellow face, heart. So yeah, and by the way, the 2 braids, Emere, one thing that I really enjoyed when I was creating them, Laura, was the creation of the Pantheon. They have a lot of gods. They have 33 gods, but actually their gods were made by the Emere themselves. So I think that was a bit subversive as an idea. Like the Emere were so powerful, they were godlike in the ancient history, that they decided after disasters, because they were just too powerful, they said, you know what, we need to split our power into half, and half of it they kept it as the juju magic, and the other half they summoned some really powerful wilderness spirits from the rainforest and told them, look, take this power and become our gods. So there's even like, this is kind of reflected, if you read the setting, where reflected throughout their society, like when, for instance, someone becomes a king, an oba of a village or of a kingdom, usually it's fine, but if they're a wizard, which are called alawos, if it's an alawo, then they always make sure that there's someone else next to them. Kind of like they love magic, but it's kind of like a layer of a bit caution. It's like they, in the past, Emere were overdid it. And so now, like, they're always a bit careful. They still respect magic, it's very important, but they gave half of the magic to the gods or creating the gods, to some spirits, and even like their own kind of society respects wizards and so, but always has a bit of, let's be careful. Like, we don't want to get back to that hubris that we had in our ancestral history. So, question from Sabs: does Iga also create art assets that are inside the game?
Concepts, yes, but not 3D stuff. I'm not 3D artist, so yeah, our 3D artists would work on the assets, but also they would concept stuff as well. It's not like I would, like invent everything. So my side is mostly like the visual direction in general. So creating concepts like how. What shapes should be used for which biomes or lineages? Guiding maybe them if something goes off too much of the general art style that we aim to, then this. But it's not going to be my task to create the individual assets. Yeah.
Yeah. In most game development companies, that's the case, that those who make concepts 2D art are separate from those who make 3D art, because you can do both, but in the end, it's a bit of a separate skill set, right, Iga?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's completely. I mean, many 3D artists are capable of doing concepts too, and not always, but our can, and yeah, I think it's super helpful because actually you don't have to draw this out. You can already concept in 3D, which saves a lot of time as well. So.
Yeah. And by the way, for instance, the totems of the villages that you have seen in some streams or some screenshots or even like videos of the game was both concepted and then created in 3D art by Gifty, our 3D artist. So that's an example where both happened. But usually, like for instance, the Swala, we call her Mosi, like the Swala woman you see in some of the current game footage, was the kind of traditional flow where Iga concepted it and then Gifty created the 3D art from the concept.
Yes.
So here would be awesome, comment by Paul, would be awesome to see paintings that people can use as decorations in game by Iga and the other artists. It's a cool idea.
Oh, paintings. Yeah, I mean, if we will have any paintings, like painting technology in the game, because like if it's like a realistic painting, what would they paint it with, like oils, or they have already paints, that would need to be developed, because there can be some, like, I don't know, like you can take some pieces of rock, for example, or coal or something, and do drawings, for example. But I'm not sure if we would have. Not sure if we would have paint to actually hang the paintings.
Like a canvas, right? For the.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So, but I think we plan to use the existing illustrations, like in the UI elements, right?
We would use in some ways. So some of the art will appear. Not sure if it will appear in game as art pieces, because the question is, will we have oil canvases in the game? It feels it was not used a lot throughout the continent historically in Africa, and so one can argue it's a fantasy game. We can do anything, right? But probably we're going to more use like maybe cloth or like painting on walls, or so, like other ways to show art. So maybe there we might, of course, we'll use some textures that are created by our artists, but it's not going to be probably traditional like Western oil paint on canvas. Very, very, very unlike. That's a cool idea. Like in some way, I think that we should. I'm on board of getting more of your art in the game. So any excuse is great. So I can see comment from Glade, Swala Gang Gang. So if there's other Swalas, by the way, we do have a Discord in case you don't know. It's really super awesome community, more than 600 people. And when you go into the Discord, you can pick your lineage as well, on top of the usuals like the pronouns and so on.
I'm Swala.
Yes. So Iga's a Swala as well. Basically, we have secret channels. So every lineage has a secret channel, and it gets unlocked if you join that lineage, and then you can kind of have your own little lineage gossip corner, like where just you and your Emere or Ikaki or Aziman or whoever you are, like separated from the others. So I see here a bucket of randomness says Swala Gang. So we have more Swalas coming. Yeah, Swalas, for those of you who are new to the Wagadu Chronicles world, actually descendants of the Emere. So it's cool that we have an Emere here. You can see, the Emere, magical people, live in the rainforest. But at some point, an ancient Emere queen kind of got guided out of the rainforest, saw the savannah. Things happened, so you can go and check in the book as well, including like a little bit of a love story with a doe spirit and a doe eland, so some sort of antelope. And then at the end, basically this other kind of branch. Initially, there were just like a bunch of Emeres that lived in the savannah and got blessed by antelopes, and so started growing horns. But then quickly they became their own lineage, separate from the Emere. And the Swalas are because of the savannah as well, they're more herders, tend to be a bit more nomadic. They're, compared to the Emere, who are closer to the glorious history of ancient magic cities, they're a bit more, you could almost say they're a bit more humble in some way. Like, yeah, so there's a connection. Oh, Morgan is on stream as well.
He was whining. Probably you could hear him, so I would just take him, here, and he will be already.
The highlight of the stream.
Yes, oh yes. But I need to paint. Sorry.
That's Morgan is our special team member.
Yes, the team member, the smallest one.
So what is your main source of inspiration for the jewelry, Iga?
So there is Igbo culture, Igbo people. We can see them here, and those are actually coral beads formed into piece of clothing, which is super cool. Like literally every time I'm looking, for something, there's just, the stuff that blows my mind, in terms of design, like what is already there. Like it's been existing for I don't know how long, but it, like when I first Googled Igbo people, it was the first time I saw this type of stuff, and so amazing. Yes. Sorry, I will be always very excited about this stuff because
I get it. By the way, goodbye Niodium and thanks for being with us today.
Yeah.
But I agree. Even I myself, I because I'm African European, I used to travel to Africa almost every year to Ghana, live there as well before moving to Berlin, and so I have more of an understanding of the continent. But still, it's so big. There's so many cultures, so many things that it's just like an endless source of. And it's not like Europe that you kind of know roughly about Spain or Russia or Sweden. It's like nothing is really new. But when you start researching African cultures, you realize how did I know this? And sometimes it's stuff even of Ghana, my own country as well. It's like, wait, I didn't know. And people, I ask other Ghanaians, and they're like, oh, I didn't know this either. And it's just crazy. There's so many cultures.
True, exactly.
So Ashley is saying, I love it, Iga. So comment from Ashley.
Thank you.
Herself.
Thank you so much.
Ashley herself.
Yes, yes, yes. That's your character. Like that's your fault. Look, you invented it. So
Yes, exactly. It's a baby, a baby. And Glade, I've never seen that kind of dress before. That's amazing. By the way, we'll have like some other lore-wise, other very specifically African types of clothes in the game. They're already in the lore book. You can find them and use them in your D&D games. One of them, for instance, is bark cloth, which is very fascinating, like the Swalas. So the Horn people use it in Wagadu. And it's basically scraping off bark from trees, a specific type of tree, and then drying it. It's a very complex process. You can create cloth. And it's brown, it's not very flexible, it looks super cool. And they wear it sometimes, like you can see, like real Africans, especially in East Africa, it's not disappearing, but it used to be a thing. It's like, it looks a bit like some sort of like strange kimonos, a bit like how they wear it. And it's like kind of often has like this double kind of, how could you say, like sides kind of converging together, like flaps. And it's just like very specific, unique cloth, like I'm wearing bark today. Like I woke up and I want to wear bark. It's and Wagadu has it. Another one is mud cloth. So it's kind of like cloth that has been painted with mud. And it's in countries like Burkina Faso or Mali. It's a very ancient way of making clothes. And that's something that's going to exist in the game. And especially a bit more Azimans will be using, but it's something that we'll have in general. Of course, the coral beads are something you see from the Emere and originally come from more Nigerian cultures like the Edo. Is there any special cloth for the Ikaki? Like any, I guess shells maybe?
Shells. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think also pieces of rope and rope. So net in general. Fish net. That would be there. Mm-hmm.
That's the traditional. Yeah, it's awesome. And I love the shells too, like throughout the continent, they're so important. And of course for the Ikaki is like the water people. So it's like top. But you see cowries tend to appear very often as a symbol of royalty or holiness. Because cowrie shells were used as currency as well in Africa and in Wagadu as well. They are the main currency. So they'll be in the video game. They are in the 5th edition setting as one of the top currencies. And they're part of clothing as well. So it would be weird. I think most Western traditional clothes don't have coins hanging around. But in both Africa and Wagadu, you might see cowries more often as a piece of clothing as well. So comment from Bobby, I have no idea what my African roots are directly, African American, but it's so interesting learning about the different gods and styles that influence the culture. Very happy to hear this. And I think like people of African descent, no matter where in the world, deserve a fantasy setting that, shows people like them, or like us, and actually is based on our ancestors. So I'm super happy to hear this. And by the way, most African Americans descend directly from West Africans. So actually Emere take a lot of inspiration from people from Southern Nigeria, so West Africa. So it's very likely that Bobby or other Caribbean or African Americans who stream, like some of your ancestors were from the same place where the inspirations of the Emere come from.
So this probably doesn't look like anything yet, but this is big bag, which actually I thought would be cool to get this Kiondo bag, which is I actually got one too. I brought it from Kenya. It's like from baobab tree bark. It's made of the bark of baobab. And I found even with the shape, it will actually match this character to carry the Opon Ifa board. So it had to be like quite big, and it will be just lying here, just so it's there because it's mentioned in the description, somewhere. Yeah,
super awesome.
See? Inside the bag, black bag over her shoulder, so it won't be over shoulder here, but it will be there. Yeah.
So a question from Sabs. Do you also include religion magic based on voodoo, since it's not so present in the Horn of Africa? So the question is, the answer is yes. So to say, because voodoo, what we'll not do is like we'll not have the Hollywood voodoo. So kind of like evil witch that casts evil spell to hurt people and needles to kill people or like to torture them, because that has been influenced a lot by the demonization of Black people and Black traditions. And but voodoo actually, at its root, it's actually often, it's kind of similar to the word juju as well. I think in the country of Benin they call it voodoo with an N at the end. I have, for instance, I know I'm in touch with like a voodoo priest from Ghana. Like he's from another ethnic group, so it's a different kind of pantheon and religion. He's actually half Japanese and half Ghanaian, and he's a priest, and he told me a bit more of like his voodoo religion, and it's very much about like harmony and peace, and somehow it's like very much similar to Shintoism as well. It's about nature, right? And that's the same for the religion of my ancestors. Some members of my family still practice. It's kind of dwindling, but still practice the old gods, the old religion, and it's very much about nature, and it's about respecting this kind of rock, like this river god, not fishing on this specific day of the week so the fisheries can replenish, not cutting or not entering this forest. So there's lots of nature. And then yes, it's transactional as well. So you kind of give things, and that's the thing that Hollywood loved and people, like, you give things to the gods or the ancestors, and they give you something back. And basically that's been transformed into like, you always ask for evil things, but that's not true. Like if you're a bad person, then you ask for something bad. But if you're a good person, maybe you ask for something good. So it's a very much demonization. So that's why I don't use the word voodoo too much, but kind of the answer is yes, because that type of spirituality and religion is very much at the core of the Wagadu Chronicles. And so the religious aspect of Wagadu Chronicles is very much inspired by my experience too as a kind of West African European. So that's kind of, but then I've spoken to, I have a good friend from Kenya, and she told me a lot about the Kikuyu, for instance, religious system, and that was kind of some inspiration I took from there. I read a lot about religion throughout the continent and Southern Africa and so on. So definitely there is going to be throughout all of the lineages a strong influence of what you could call voodoo, although I don't tend to use that word that much because it's so loaded. So here, like Paul, yeah, Hollywood took over the idea of voodoo in the early 1900s when the horror genre was really growing. I think the entire zombie horror was a corruption of African culture. Yeah, I think as well zombies were connected to, yeah. So yeah, I can see some comments on DNA tests. Yeah, I think it's super awesome to get to know more about who you are. Actually, I did one as well recently. Just we're discussing. Iga and I were discussing. So like last month, and I got the results. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, you finished.
No, just on my end, like I'm totally not paid for this. It's not I use Ancestry. What's the name? Ancestry DNA, and I know a lot about my ancestry because my family on both ends has kept records for centuries. So my African side, I know easily till the 1700s, European side till the 1500s, I think. And the results were super accurate. They really told me like, there's 2% of British because I know I have like a British great grandparent. There's Nigerian and Ghanaian, and it was so accurate. And then Slavic, because my Italian side, I'm half Italian, is actually very Slavic, and everything was there. So I was very impressed. Like for me, it was more like I knew most of the stuff. It was just confirmed. So I must say, I used to be a bit skeptical about these tests, but after making it and checking it with the real, because I was lucky and privileged to have the actual knowledge. I didn't get broken through colonialism or so on, and I was like, whoa, that's accurate. Like I spoke with my mom, and she was like, yeah, this is all right. And I discovered some things that even she hadn't told me, thanks to the test. Like, oh yeah, it's true, we do have this in the family. I forgot to mention that, and I was like, oh, okay, thanks, mom, that you had to wait for me to actually make a test, spend money on it, and then tell me. Yeah, but yeah, Iga, you're saying.
Yeah, I actually meant to tell you that we did we bought it as well, and I just sent my DNA like 2 days ago. So yeah, now I will be waiting for my results. But I'm pretty sure, like I even spoke with my parents, it's gonna be either Russia or Ukraine. Like yeah, those parts. Pretty sure because my family comes from the east. So. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
but it'd be cool to know the actual, to see the actual numbers, right? It's really,
yeah. We'll see.
Comment from Glade, I think the values in traditional West African religion has great healing potential for the diaspora, not only for its focus on community, but stewardship of the earth. So that's a really interesting comment. Like, I definitely can say, for me, it has been very, I'm not a very religious person in general, but it has been healing sometimes to use some of the rituals from the African kind of tradition. And I make an example during after the killing of George Floyd and everything that was going on, even for me based in Europe and my kind of Black friends, it was a very stressful period. And, there was, you can understand, especially if you're Black, there was a lot going on. And then I realized at some point last summer, I just wanted to do something. I decided to organize a libation, so which is basically an offering to the ancestors by pouring some liquor on the ground. But rather than making it like a religious thing, so actually like going through summoning the ancient gods, we just read all of us poetries from famous Black writers or poets. So there was George Baldwin or Maya Angelou and so on, or Chinua Achebe, the Nigerian writer. So we had and we're all from different parts of the diaspora, for me, African, European, there was Jamaican, African American. We did this. It was such a powerful moment because the ritual, the tool we're using was so Black, so African as well. And it allowed us to really kind of create this magical, it was one of the most magical days for me. So I agree. I think even implementing some of the more rituals from our ancestors can really help to sometimes reconnect and for healing. I think we need healing, a lot of healing, unfortunately too. We're gone, Iga, we're gone from stream to speaking about the Black experience. But let's say, how is it going with the?
How is it going? Well, let me just. So I blocked out all of them, but it's still it's the beginning of everything.
It looks awesome already, this beginning.
Thank you, but yeah, it's just a sketch, just to show. But yeah, if I would like to push it more, it would probably take me way more hours. There is no enough stream time to actually push it to any final version. I will do some flames here because it's like a fire Asiman. And yes, color dodge.
How about the spear? Did you take any specific inspiration for that?
Oh yeah, spear. Yeah, I just used Masai spear here. It's very basic. But this is the one because I didn't search for any reference, so this is something I just remember how the spear looks like from Kenya, and it's super basic, with two ends.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. So yeah, one.
What do you mean by two ends?
Yeah, I'm telling. So this is the first end for fighting, and the other one is for throwing. So there is another end which is very pointy, and with this one you fight the lion. You fight, and this is to throw. Mm-hmm. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that. That's really interesting because because usually I would have thought that the big end is you do everything with it. So it's super cool that.
No, this one you throw because it's very pointy, and you also you put it into the ground because this is the pointy end.
That I think I saw it just to hold in the soil, right, to keep it if you're busy doing something, right, or you can.
Yeah. But we can add some Zigoyama stuff here.
Awesome.
I am just to suggest something. Even here, I think I had the idea to add some stuff like this.
So
But yeah,
comment from Ryutsu, I think it's Nico, is that right?
Nika.
I got to run, but I wanted to say I'm really excited about this whole project. Thank you for the wonderful stream. Heart, can't wait to see more.
Thank you for joining. This is, amazing. Thank you.
Bye, thank you. Then comment from Swift. Hello, Swift. Reconnecting to your ancestors and re-researching how much is in common spiritually across our tradition is one of the best things you can do just for self-healing, as part of the diaspora especially. And I would, I can agree with that, definitely. Like knowing more about your roots and researching is, and definitely the Wagadu Chronicles has a lot, it's kind of connected. Of course, we want to make this as well for everyone. So I think look at Iga here on stream, like clearly not originally, for African origins, but I think it's been even just working together so enriching to see how much getting to know these cultures like bringing to you, right, Iga?
Yeah, totally. Sorry. No.
I'm totally distracting you on like a super important.
It's sometimes like you paint something and you have to focus so much on what you're painting, but then talk at the same time.
Yeah, no worries. But yeah, absolutely. And the comment too, I think on like the knowledge of kind of African traditions and culture and Black, because in the end it's like that's where we all come from. It's I think if you look at a country like Japan and their background and culture, like they did a great job in like making their culture more international because they know so much about their own culture and they share. So they have a different history, they have different economic history, different colonial history. So they did not go through certain things that Africa went through, or no slavery and etc. etc. But in the end, I think like as we're moving forward, we should definitely look at African cultures more like East Asian cultures and really get to a point where they're more and more accessible. Like you can really Google and find, because now it's still Googling is still hard. You Google, you don't find stuff. So it's hopefully the Wagadu Chronicles will help a bit with this to push more and more.
Yes. For me, it's like it's just too good not to be known.
This perfect quote is like I'm going to use this.
Yeah, you can just cut this part.
Yes, put as a snippet for the for Twitter or something.
There's just so much stuff. Actually, this didn't make it to the video, but we have this inside joke of me starting like for the Kickstarter video. We were recording stuff, and I had the part that was starting with "There is just so much stuff to learn about." And we were re-listening to it because we had to watch the videos again, and there were like a couple of tries of me telling that, and it just stayed so much with us that now every time we're saying something within the team, it's like there's just so much stuff. It's funny. I mean, it's inside joke. You want probably it's funny.
So now if we say there is so much stuff,
there's so much stuff to do, to know, to learn about.
Yeah. To wrap your head around.
To show,
Absolutely, yeah. So comment from Tabiso. I think it's awesome because so much of gaming and fantasy is learning about...
I know Tabiso, yeah.
Yeah, hey, Tabiso. So much of gaming and fantasy is learning about other cultures. It just gives everyone more colors in the palette to paint with. I love this, and I've definitely used this image before. It's awesome.
Yes.
Here, another comment from Tabiso. Hey, really love the project and the concept. I think it will serve as a great way for those who aren't in touch with this side of the ancestry to be encouraged to explore. I think that's awesome. And I very much agree. And on top of this, I really think everybody who wants to know more about Black cultures, the continent, and there are, by the way, diasporic elements of cultural elements too in the lore and the setting. So you're very much encouraged you're welcome and research and join and role play with us.
Yes. I mean, you have the book over there, which is ready to
start.
Read, to run your own RPG games. Yeah, it's there. You can download it for free. Yeah, you should definitely all check it out. It's amazing. Like Kike and you, Alan. Jesus, so much stuff.
So much stuff. Thank you. And so much art. So much like Iga and the others, like so much art. So
Yeah.
by the way, I think we're soon getting closing the stream,
Yeah.
getting close to wrapping up. What do you want to, is there any specific piece you want to end with or something?
Oh.
Any detail you want to do and show like?
I'm not sure. I don't know. We can maybe add some more or less like a background element. I don't know.
Or maybe a tree or something. I don't know.
Yay! They're sitting on something.
That was quick. That was efficient.
Yeah. Yeah, but now we would have to add some shadows as well. You know, like always adding some stuff.
This is looking so great, and I wish I could participate myself too. Like one day, I need to create my own character and send it over to you. But this is so awesome.
I mean, you are the person who can definitely do that. You have to draw it now. Okay.
Fair enough. Like all other tasks or Trello, just like draw Alan's character.
Yeah, I mean, we can use everything in the next volume of the book, right? So there will be more stuff to paint like this, like some characters.
Yes. So as we're towards wrapping up, if you enjoy this, just we're running a Kickstarter. You can support us there, so we can potentially reach maybe another 1 or 2 stretch goals before the end of the week. Because Friday we're ending the campaign. It has been such an awesome experience, like so much positive energy, and you've actually supported us financially, which is humbling. So thank you so much for all of your support. Question, by the way, is jumping in. What lineage would you choose, Alan, from Glade? Like, it's a difficult one because I love all of them, but I do have a thing a bit for. I'm thinking I would maybe play a spirit, like actually hack the game and play. I don't know. Like they're all. I really enjoy all of them, so it's always hard to, A comment from Swift. Let's see the last comments before we wrap up. So Swift, one random idea, African golden cats, very rare and not well known. Could be cool to include somewhere. Yeah, the lion blood, one of their sub-lineages, the manifestations is the golden cat manifestation, golden cat. So they're already implemented and you can turn into one. So yes, we have done that. And so they appear both in the 5th edition setting and in the video game. So very much we agree with you. Cool. So any last comments on your end, Iga, as we get close to wrapping up?
I'm super grateful for that anyone came, that people were active on the chat, and yeah, I think I want to do more streams now. It's actually really nice, to draw something and people can comment on it, even give suggestions. Like I was always too shy and scared to do that, but I mean I started already, so I think it's fine.
You're in. Awesome. So I'm so happy that this ended up happening, that Iga, you made yourself available to do so much work, because this is so much preparation for this. So yes. So comments, Glade, thank you so much. Thank you, Glade, for being here. Thank you, Kwabna. Thank Giuseppe too for being here, because you didn't have to. So thank you so much for being with us. And Bobby and Swift and Sabs, like everybody else who's commenting. And we'll be probably doing this again. Feel free to like us, comment if you think, the video, hey, this was really cool. It helps us as well to get feedback, to know it's not just one person, it's more than 2 people that like this. So it really helps us to get feedback. And so, Iga can spend more time to create more art for next streams. Maybe we can do even some future competitions and maybe get people to submit other characters. Let's see, Iga, if you have ideas too.
Yes. Well, definitely we'll be doing, we have many ideas, so many.
Cool. So much stuff. So thanks Ashley as well. Cool. Twitch could be an option, Sabs. So we're looking. That could be. We have a channel. It's just not utilized yet. It's there, it's sitting there. So Twitch could be a thing we might try. We're not sure if enough people would show up there. We have to test and see, and hopefully people will show up. We don't know. We have to try and see.
Yes. Yeah. From my end, so I will try to get it to a little bit more final stage. Probably not like super rendered, but yeah, like when I have time, I will finish it and I will post, or we will post on social media. And what I can do with this is also like get them also on the separate board, so all of the winners can have their characters, like as a separate image as well. And yeah, but I just don't know when will that happen yet, because it's super busy over here, like, yeah, crazy. So yeah, but it will happen. Like
we're making an MMO right on the side.
Yeah, just just a tiny project on the side.
Tiny project.
Yeah. Cool. So thank you again. It was super cool.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and see you. We're on social media. You can find all the links and the Kickstarter. Couple of more days, and see you around. Thank you so much for being so awesome, all of you. Awesome people.
Bye.
Bye.